Good welcome to all of you. My name is UsernameHere, and welcome to Gold Coast. It is a beautiful day for a Grand Marshal Grand Tournament, ladies and gentlemen. We are on episode number 13, round number 37, and I gotta tell you, I am getting really pumped myself for this, and I'm sure all of you Grand Marshal fans, BeamNG players, and police chasing enthusiasts alike can, of course, agree with me. I am joined here by my co-commentator, Devion. I think I might have possibly said that already. And yes, it's a beautiful day for a police chase here. In our first place position, who got absolutely wrecked in terms of point standings in one of the most upsetting episodes for him. In the previous episode, we have Mississippi State Police, who is Police Interceptor just behind him's rival, who has managed to actually seize the lead for our point standings for precisely like one episode, I think. He is currently holding with 8 points, but unfortunately he lost that lead in a very devastating fashion in the previous episode, and it looks like he will have a lot of ground to make up if he is going to have a chance at that trophy for this tournament. In our second place position, but our first place position once again for the point standings, an absolute mad lad, we have Police Interceptor, the first car in the history of the Grand Marshal Grand Tournament to actually pretty much win an entire episode, with all 3 rounds of the previous episode going to him. As a result, he is now holding steady at 10 points, and his second place competitor, Mississippi, only has 8, which means he is starting to regain that lead that he had in the early episodes, and it could be a bit of a return of the king in a way, references. What do you think about this? What do you think about this really interesting series of events, my friend Devion?
You know, I found it absolutely ridiculous that he managed to win all 3 rounds last episode, and get 3 points from that.
I know, that was an absolutely insane set of rounds. I couldn't believe it personally, and there's a lot of Police Interceptor fans who were absolutely pretty much starstruck by that as well. Also, a lot of fans of the other cars that were completely upset by that. Either way, let's see if he'll be able to maintain that lead, or if someone like Mississippi could potentially catch up and challenge him for that lead. In our third place position, a bit of an underdog with very respectable points, with 5 points specifically, we have Fairhaven City, hailing from the 2012 game Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012. Yes, sporting a beautiful dark blue color scheme, as well as a couple of spectacular wins under his belt. However, he will definitely have a lot of ground to make up, because he really needs those points to keep himself in this game. Otherwise, elimination for him could just be around the corner. In our fourth place position, ladies and gentlemen, replacing 90s NYPD, we have the USA Army Police, who just freaking had his life bar stripped off, and he is now a slick top car with a slightly cracked windshield. Yes, USA Army Police, who was actually not added into the game recently, but he is in fact a vanilla car. We will be able to see if he will channel some of that. Actually, he should not channel the Blasco City vanilla energies, because absolutely no, do not do that. We will see if he will be able to bring in some respectable police chasing skills and potentially challenge people such as DEP or JTF in the point standings. In any event, he will be taking our 4th place position in the lineup and replacing old 90s NYPD. In our 5th place position, a very respectable competitor, we have New York City Transit Police, hailing from the 90s, a retired design with a beautiful blue trunk and hood and a red light bar, with 6 points under his belt, with some very amazing wins. However, hasn't really had the best time applying that skill that he has from his previous wins, both in this tournament and the 15-round test tournament that was done getting close to a year ago on that particular front. Yes, he will have to apply those skills to the best of his ability if he's going to take down Police Interceptor, who has almost gotten close to doubling him in the point standings. In our next position, we have the New York City Police Department, JTF, that stands for Joint Task Force, hailing from Tom Clancy's The Division. An absolutely amazing competitor who excels in the last place position, as evidenced by the Invitational that brought him here. However, now that he is surrounded by more hefty competitors such as Transit Police Detroit just behind him, in fact, he's surrounded by Transit in Detroit just behind and in front of him. Surrounded by such hefty competitors, he will have a lot to learn and a lot of effort to put in if he wants to have any chance of staying in this tournament. In our 7th place position, the leader in terms of style points, most definitely also tied with Transit Police, we have the Detroit Police Car holding steady with 6 points. A pretty much an advocate for that 3rd place strategy that he enjoys doing. He definitely enjoys overtaking cars and managing to seize the 3rd place position as soon as all the other cars screw up. And as a result, he capitalizes on Mississippi and Police Interceptor's battles and comes in for the head-on very often. It is a very nice strategy that has been working out for him, as evidenced by his point standings.
Yeah, he tends to like somehow end up in 3rd place, hang around there, and get the point when Mississippi and Interceptor screw up.
Indeed, yes, it is a very good strategy that has helped him garner a lot of points in these rides. However, even though it is a good strategy, it may not be enough for him to unseat such fierce competitors as Mississippi and Police Interceptor, who are still holding strong in those 1st and 2nd place positions. And in our final position, we have the Department of Environmental Protection Police, hailing from the city of New York, and rounding out that last place position in the lineup, who currently has 1 point to his name. However, I do believe in him that he can acquire more points for himself. He just needs to step up his game a little bit, because there are definitely a lot of fierce competitors that he will need to rival in this game in order to have a chance of winning his shot at the trophy for this tournament. In any event, that is it for our lineup, ladies and gentlemen. Start your engines, activate your sirens, turn on your lights, and fasten your seatbelts, because round number 37 is about to begin. And round number 37 has kicked off, ladies and gentlemen. Mississippi with 8 points, moving in the front. Police Interceptor, our champion of the last episode, moving ahead. Fairhaven City with 5 points, looking to make something happen. USNRA Police, our newcomer here for this episode, as well, moving ahead. Transit Police with 6 points. JTF with 1. Detroit with 6 as well, and DEP with 1, rounding out the end of our lineup for this beginning. For the beginning of this round. So yeah, any predictions, my friend Devion, for what could happen in this episode?
I feel like since Fairhaven kind of needs the points here, he's gonna do something important or something special.
I fully agree. I really hope Fairhaven manages to get himself points, and it looks like he's off to a pretty respectable start with USNRA Police losing a position to Transit Police. Ooh, trying to battle Transit Police to claim it back, but not managing to do so. Detroit battling with JTF as well. So yes, as I was saying, Fairhaven City is off to a pretty good start, because it looks like he hasn't spun out of the cinematic corner. Also, the shipping container is red now because we actually ran out of blue paint. Yes. Also, it was supplied by a different company entirely, hence why it's red. So, yeah, it looks like DEP will be holding out that last place position as well, with the runner now heading up to the cliff turn right here.
Looks like. Ooh, yep, they all make it through fine. Let's see how Fairhaven does.
Mississippi Police Interceptor doing fine. Fairhaven goes up the mountain once again. I am so sick of cars doing that. Transit Police drifting just a little bit, manages to take that 3rd place position as a result. U.S. Army Police spinning out as well, and here is JTF moving around the cliff turn. Detroit and U.S. Army Police have themselves a bit of a collision. It looks like DEP will be trying to capitalize on that. That's very unfortunate for Fairhaven that the AI decided to strike them with that strange glitch. However, he has been thrown back on the track, and it looks like he potentially will be able to recover from that, and I really hope he does for his sake, even though he is now in last place.
Looks like Transit and JTF are kind of battling it out here.
Looks like something happening with Transit and JTF as well. Looks like Transit Police slowing down and JTF trying to capitalize on it, but not managing to do so as the runner moves through the long straight.
So how do you think of Army Police being his first round so far?
Being Army Police's first round, it looks like he's just learning the ropes, I would say. Doing a couple of the things that cars normally tend to do, such as spinning out just before the cliff turn, which is something the AI likes to do for some reason. Just kind of learning the ropes of the track, you could say. Not really content to make something spectacular happen, but just using... Ooh, Police Interceptor having a weird time on the beach turn, putting some distance between him and Mississippi. That's not something that happens very often. Here comes Transit Police. It looks like he has a little bit of damage on his front left end. Looks like it could potentially prove to be a problem. Spins out on the beach a little bit. Here's JTF, gets bumped into by JTF. Bit of problem. U.S. Army Police as well, and here's Detroit, who actually managed to round it just fine. Detroit once again in 3rd place as usual, with DEP moving in to strike U.S. Army Police. The only person left to arrive here would be Fairhaven City. And there's Fairhaven City right on cue, who also messed up on the beach turn. Very unfortunate, I would say.
Oh, looks like Interceptor caused way back up to Mississippi.
Indeed, yes, Police Interceptor now managing to catch up to Mississippi, who who wants to further his lead. It looks like once again we're going to have, looks like Fairhaven will actually, without interference, manage to recover from it. However, Fairhaven does have a lot of damage, unfortunately, which means this round is potentially not going to be his round to win. With JTF having some problems with his bumper in particular. Yep, there he goes. Doesn't need that anymore. Oh, U.S. Army Police a bit flipped over. I'm not even sure where this is. How do you flip over right at the start? Very strange for him, yeah. As JTF moves ahead, very strange place to screw up for U.S. Army Police. Yeah, but that will allow some other cars to gain themselves some positions. With Fairhaven City now heading up to the cinematic corner himself.
It looks like a bunch of cars are pretty damaged throughout the first lap.
That is true, yes. The first lap has seen a lot of damage occur to some of these cars, and that is once again a result of the beach turn. But Detroit in third place again. Detroit loves that third place position, but Transit Police, who is tied with them, is moving ahead. DB in fifth, ladies and gentlemen. There's Fairhaven in sixth, and U.S. Army Police is actually in last now with JTF, I believe, in seventh. Looks like U.S. Army Police's car might actually be gone for this round, huh?
Yeah, he's not having a good time in his first round here.
USA Army Police going with a strategy of learning the ropes has potentially not paid off for him because he is definitely having a real hard time catching up to these cars. Transit Police a bit sideways. Looks like he had a bit of a problem there, but that means DEP will actually now be in fourth. It's very unfortunate for Transit Police.
Looks like he'll get straightened out, or not. He's gonna go off the cliff right here. Well, a very small cliff, but cliff regardless.
How did Transit Police get so much damage? I'm very curious about that. Transit Police with a lot of damage to his vehicle.
Yeah, look, as I said, many cars are getting damaged here, but let's see how the runner goes and through this corner.
Looks like the runner will be taking the second phase of the beach turn just fine. Same with Mississippi and Police Interceptor. And with Detroit in third, it looks like we're going to have ourselves just a bit of a run-of-the-mill round here, ladies and gentlemen. Though maybe I spoke too soon. Potentially, no, Detroit will actually be rounding out the beach turn just fine.
Oh, looks
Fairhaven
like
City on the long screen as well. USA Army Police is once again having himself a bit of a problem. However, this could potentially work out in his favor if he decides to grab himself a head-on collision. If he would only... Yep, there's the runner in the background. So that means if he gets set up properly and not get busted, he could potentially be right here for a head-on collision. Let's see if he manages to get it. No, he misses it. He misses it and goes up the cliff, and I think something is wrong with his steering, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, Police Interceptor having himself a bit of a problem in the cinematic corner. That could allow... What is it? Looks like JTF with a head-on somewhere. I absolutely can't believe it. We didn't even see it. And Mississippi moving in to round out that hit. Here comes Police Interceptor as well. So out in Detroit as well. So it looks like out of nowhere, JTF must have gotten a head-on, I would say, evidenced by his front-end damage.
Yeah, it looks like JTF will be getting this point. It's pretty clear because Mississippi didn't hit him yet, but yet we saw two cars damaged here.
So yes, JTF out of nowhere without us even seeing it, as evidenced by his front end damage, is clear evidence of a head-on collision. Look at his front end. Look at JTF's front end. Like smashed in, look at that. With clear evidence of a head-on collision, it looks like JTF has come out of absolutely nowhere and will manage to secure himself a second point. So excellent work to JTF managing to make the round work in his advantage and actually steal a point away from Mississippi and Police Interceptor. So very well done for him.
You know, JTF again proving that he's here to win because like he was further back in the lineup, but he still got the points.
That is true. JTF was further back in the lineup, and it looks like he really excels at turning worst into first, as evidenced by his invitational. Almost like JTF is the specialist, as we see DEP arrive here at the scene with Fairhaven on his way here as well.
So yeah,
yeah, it
looks like JTF's getting the points here. How about everybody else?
Looks like JTF will be acquiring the point in this game, yes. Mississippi and Police Interceptor once again battling each other and allowing someone else to slip through the cracks and secure that point because JTF came out of nowhere with the head-on collision. We didn't even see him turn around at all. Detroit once again relying on his third-place strategy. However, it did not work out for him in this round. However, he is definitely not content to change it up. Fairhaven City, who had a rough round, respectable finish, I would say. He definitely made it here. His car's super busted, but he did recover from the beach turn, so overall, respectable performance. Didn't win, but, good performance. Could be worse. Could be in the water at the beach turn. Could be worse. DEP Police, who starts in the last place, definitely did some things that he could, but took some damage and unfortunately was not able to make something happen, despite the fact that he actually did manage to secure, I believe, the 4th place position at most. I don't even know what USA Army Police was doing. Their car's got to have some serious damage for them to have, like, screwed up like that. Could just be learning the ropes, though. Could just be learning the ropes at the same time, though. I don't know. Not really sure what they were doing. And their tires phasing through their fender as well. And their front bumper. Yeah, very weird for them. Transit, I don't even know what happened with Transit Police. Transit Police just had a horrible run where he was just brutalized by all kinds of things. I mean, look at his car. He's more damaged than the runner, actually, and I'm not even sure why. I'm not even sure what he could have possibly hit for that to happen to him. But yeah, very unfortunate for him. Very hefty competitor, just taken out, I would say, by just, I don't know, because we didn't see it.
So yeah, with the conclusion of round 37, looks like JTF is going to be getting the points here, which is his 2nd point in this tournament.
Indeed, JTF now with 2 points is starting to make a name for himself. Is starting to make a name for himself in this tournament because having 2 points is very respectable for a newcomer, especially since he's already been in here for 3 episodes, which is a pretty good win rate, I would say.
And now we will reset all the cars and move on to round 38.
Here we are, jumping right into round number 38, ladies and gentlemen, skipping the lineup entirely. Mississippi and Police are our 1st and 2nd place competitors moving ahead. Fairhaven, who really needs to make something happen here in 3rd place. US Army Police, not even sure what he was doing in that 1st round. Transit Police with a horrible 1st round of this episode. JTF, the champion of the last round, well done to him. Detroit with his stop point to lead, and DEP rounding out the end of our lineup of cars for today. So yes, how do you feel about the way this round could potentially go, my friend Evian?
I feel like Fairhaven's got to get something done, because he needs the points here, and he hasn't scored any this round so far.
Indeed, yes. Ooh, Fairhaven with a bit of a spin. Looks like USA Army Police actually with a worse spin, bumping into the back of Transit Police. Looks like content to actually keep that 3rd place position this time. Gets that spin, but actually manages to keep it. And JTF, of all people, in 4th as well. In 4th now as well, with USA Army Police in 5th, Transit in 6th, and DEP and Detroit being 4th, but it looks like DEP will eventually manage to grab himself that 7th place.
Yeah, feels like USA Army Police did hold some cars back.
That is true. USA Army Police did hold some cars back, and it looks like they will be trying to move ahead and see if they can make something happen. Looks like Fairhaven is now in 3rd and could potentially be poised to grab a point just like Detroit does if he doesn't succumb to the strange drive up the mountain thing that they do sometimes. Please don't drive up the mountain. Please don't drive up the mountain. Why did you do that?
But looks like his car is fine, so we will just drag him back to the track.
Yeah, I know. Why do the cars do that? It brings me so much pain. At least he's back on the track now. Fairhaven sitting now back on the track. Transit Police moving up the cliff a little bit. Looks like JTF is actually now in 3rd. How about it? Yeah, JTF's in 3rd. US Army Police in 4th. Transit in 5th. Fairhaven in 6th with DEP and Detroit rounding out the rest of that lineup now. Very interesting position changes, I would say.
I've noticed that USA Army Police has a bow bar, so he might use that for good use or not use it at all. Who knows? He hasn't scored any points yet.
That is true. USA Army Police with the bull bar could definitely help himself to make something happen here with that particular piece of equipment, especially because he is now in 3rd place. It could be a good round to win as long as our competitors up in the front of the pack once again do the screw-ups that they enjoy doing sometimes.
You know, he's in 3rd place right now, which is a prime spot to get points. So, yeah, let's see if he can score one in this 1st episode.
That is true. Oh, Police Interceptor spins out on the beach turn. Very uncommon thing for Police Interceptor to do, and that could mean that Mississippi will potentially get himself the point here, with JTF actually in 3rd, so our mistake. Looks like he will be bumping on the beach turn, but staying on the track, and here comes USA Army Police. He goes right into the rock, ladies and gentlemen. Transit Police, but JTF doing the same thing. Fairhaven City with a problem there as well, so it looks like these cars will be staying up ahead. DP actually helping Fairhaven to get lined up a little bit, and DP now moving ahead with Detroit actually staying. Oh, the USA Army Police is now flipped over on the rocks here. Extremely unfortunate for him, and now that the cars are across the beach turn, how are things going at the runner? Runner rounding out the cinematic corner again after all that chaos occurred at the beach turn with Mississippi tail, and Police Interceptor has actually managed to recover from that. Barryman has lost himself a lot of speed. Transit Police a little bit flipped over. I'm not even sure how that managed to happen. Yeah, I'm not sure how that managed to happen on the first turn of the track with all the other cars pretty much moving ahead to try and do what they can. Barryman has lost a lot of speed and a lot of car integrity, and looks like he'll be losing a position to Detroit potentially, with JTF actually moving around a little bit. Looks like DEP will actually be overtaking Detroit as well, so yeah. Very unfortunate for these cars. However, I do notice that JTF is now in last place, and that is where he tends to excel.
You know, pretty wreck-filled round so far. Like, everybody's just been crashing all over the place.
I agree. That beach turn has definitely been a big problem for these cars. It looks like there's actually... Who is in third, ladies and gentlemen? Whoever is in third is very far away as well. It is Transit Police, of all people, in third, ladies and gentlemen, just running out the shipping container. DEP in fourth, Detroit in fifth. Looks like that was Fairhaven in sixth as well. Potentially with JTF moving ahead in potentially seventh. And I would say, yeah, US Air Police is still fifth, right?
Yes, he is still immobilized.
Oh, but Transit Police unfortunately throws it away. It looks like this is potentially the farthest turn. Oh, maybe not. It's actually the clip turn. So DEP now, who is in last, is now in third place with Detroit, with Transit Police moving ahead on the track as well, and Detroit taking a position on him. So yeah.
You know, I'm surprised that none of the cars actually got stuck on the beach and instead opted to hit the rock and just fall back onto the road.
That is true. I agree. Some of the cars have finally managed to learn how to recover from the beach turn. However, they still need to perfect a method of not doing it at all. And it looks like this could potentially, US Air Police with the roadblock, but looks like the runner potentially, takes the turn a little bit weird. Looks like the runner will be moving around USA Police just fine, though, with Mississippi taking a bit longer of a time, and Police Interceptor stopping as well. Well, Police Interceptor stopping entirely for USA Army Police. Well, how about it? So Police Interceptor will be losing himself a bit of ground here. Looks like Mississippi could potentially be, looks like Mississippi could potentially have himself an opportunity. And is there anyone moving around the track opposite way? There's JTF actually again, potentially looking to make the same thing happen as last round, but Mississippi is right up the runner's tail, so it looks like this could be his time. But he hits the shipping container, though, because his steering is a bit busted. He is struggling to get back out of there. His car is incredibly damaged. All he needs, though, is one head-on collision in order to get himself a third point. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. JTF with massive damage. Will he manage to get it? He missed the head-on collision. That is a huge upset for JTF fans. He managed to grab the last round, but misses the head-on collision in this round due to excessive damage on his vehicle. And is there anyone else moving in for a potential head-on collision? It's Fairhaven stuck on the rocks, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if he will be brought up to ground. Because if he is smart, he will actually manage to grab himself a head-on, because the runner is already now here on the turn. Will he manage to do it? It looks like his car is actually just completely dead. I don't know if he'll manage to do it. And Mississippi is now moving ahead to try and grab himself his 9th point.
You think Mississippi gets 9th point and also get another point next round, catch up to Interceptor, or what do you think?
That would definitely be an interesting. That would definitely be very interesting for him, I would say, if he manages to tie up Police Interceptor once again. It would be a very fierce battle between these two cars.
It looks like there's no cars up ahead that actually could take out the runner right here.
It looks like there's actually no cars up besides Mississippi and Police Interceptors. So it looks like some cars could actually be deserving a reset. Transit Police stuck somewhere. JTF's. Oh, but Detroit and DEP are actually still up. DEP and Detroit have a lot of ground to make up, though.
Once the cars get by the start-finish line again, we will start resetting some of the cars.
I agree I agree. We have 4 cars busted currently, and we have 4 cars busted spectacularly right now at the moment, and I believe a lot of them definitely do deserve to be put back in this game as the runner moves across the long straight. Sounded like a bit of a crash. No, that was just Police Interceptor and Mississippi moving around the turn. Looks like this potentially could actually be the 3rd lap, though, which means the runner could be due for a spin out, which means we could potentially be due for a points tie, or potentially we could be due for Detroit winning a round again. There's Transit on the turn. Looks like Mississippi with the hit as well. Police Interceptor actually misses entirely. So it looks like Mississippi trying to block the runner as well. Looks like the runner, though, is still going, I would say, ladies and gentlemen. The runner has managed to survive that. Swerves around Police Interceptor, and it looks like this could be another round for Detroit to win in 3rd. We see this happen so often. It could happen again. He actually misses it just barely, ladies and gentlemen. Spins him around though, so the runner is now moving the opposite direction. But is he actually dead?
No, he got Detroit got him.
Is the runner actually dead though?
Yes, he is.
Detroit though actually managing to stop the runner by hitting a pixel of his side. I don't even know how that was possible. How did he manage to do that?
And the fact that he's like 10 billion miles away from the runner, like where he got him.
I agree. Detroit is now pretty far away from the runner as well as a result of that. So Detroit once again making that third place strategy pay off for him. How about it?
So yeah, like Detroit just likes to hang around in third place and get the point when everybody else spins out like ahead of him.
I fully agree. And one of the most interesting things about the way that round went is the fact that Detroit just skimmed the runner's side pretty much and somehow managed to just kill his car. I'm not even completely sure how that's possible, but yeah, there was contact, but he spun out the runner and did not really impact him very hard. Almost like there were spikes on the side of his tires. I don't know.
So yeah, looks like Detroit's gonna be getting the point here. Let's check on the other cars.
Mississippi once again committing those same mistakes. It is very unfortunate for him. He has 8 points and he continues to fight with Police Interceptor for points. But once again, Detroit and also JTF from the first round, once again, they'll be just stealing the points from him, yeah. And for Police Interceptor, technically. But yeah, he really needs to change up his strategy because he's in the first place position in the lineup, but is almost never really able to turn that into points. DEP Police with a respectable performance, not very notable, I would say, but he did manage to arrive at the scene of the accident, and he was in the fourth place position. And I have to say that if Detroit didn't stop the runner in that round, then DEP Police probably would have gotten the head on and gotten his second point. That's an if. That did not happen. Looks like Police Interceptor, though, is he busted? I'm not even really sure. Police Interceptor took a really bad beach turn and pretty much just became a roadblock that the runner was easily able to just go ahead and drive around. So that is very unfortunate for Police Interceptor as we zoom in on his semi-functioning engine, yeah. Police Interceptor, the points leader in this game, is just once again succumbing to that particular bad strategy. The one where, the beach turn and he's not able to get the runner on the beach turn, allowing someone else to come in for the head-on collision. What do you think about that, my friend Devion?
Yeah, he's points leader. He basically dominated last episode, but he hasn't scored anything this time yet.
That is true. Police Interceptor, who dominated the entire episode the last episode, has not managed to bring that same fire back for this particular episode. However, he does have a lot of breathing room to not be worried because he is still in the lead with 10 points. Transit Police has had a really unlucky time. Oh, but his car's still going too. That's a really unlucky time, I would say, for him. He's just been kind of brutalized by this route. I'm not really even sure what was going on with him. Very unfortunate. However, with 6 points, and he has proven in the past that he is a good competitor. He just needs to wait for his moments to strike. And there's a lot of times where he just somehow doesn't really manage to get it. U.S. Army Police, I'm not even really sure what they're doing. It could be newcomers' lack of skill, beginners' unluck, maybe, potentially. I don't know. They are brand new here in this episode. They haven't really managed to do a lot, I would say. They've had some really unlucky rounds, I would say, in this game. However, there's still one more round left in the episode, and it is potentially possible that they do manage to make something happen. As his bumper wiggles. Fairhaven City with a busted car and a little bit of an upset, once again trying to make something happen, but coming up short. He is a pretty fierce competitor, as evidenced by the time that he literally pit maneuvered Police Interceptor and Mississippi and overtook them, and then managed to smash the runner off the cliff. That was one of the most spectacular wins we've had in the entire tournament. However, he unfortunately is not always able to make that, to turn that performance into consistency, And I personally am rooting for him, but yeah, he just has been having a pretty bad time, I would say, in this episode.
Yeah, he needs points here, but he's not scoring any points, so he has one more chance to get it done.
JTF, not even sure where this is. Yeah, they tried to go in for the head-on and repeat round number 37, but they weren't able to do it because of such massive damage on their car. Very unfortunate for them. Tried to do it, but unfortunately their car just kind of quit, I would say. And in fact, it doesn't even look like they reversed or anything. It looks like their car just went on them, just quit on them, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how he keeps ending up in front of the runner around here, but he does it anyways.
That is true. He managed to make that happen twice, and one of which gave him a point. So very good job. Very good job for him, I would say. But just unfortunately, wasn't the cards weren't in his favor this round, I would say.
And looks like that'll be all the cars. Detroit will be awarded the point. We will reset everything and move on to the next round.
Welcome to our lineup for round number 39, ladies and gentlemen. The final round of this episode, and starting in our first place position is Mississippi. Holding with 8 points, hasn't managed to make anything happen in a couple of episodes, and is actually now trailing behind Police Interceptor as well. Hasn't managed to win any of the first 2 rounds for himself, and he is actually going to start to feel threatened by Detroit, of all people. Detroit, now with 7 points, could potentially be threatening Mississippi's second-place lead. What do you think about that, my friend Devion?
Yeah, I mean, Detroit's been getting all these points because he's in third place, so maybe Mississippi might come up with a strategy similar to that.
Here's hoping, yes, because Mississippi, despite starting in the first place position, hasn't managed to turn it into points for quite a while now, I would say.
Yeah, when was the last time he scored a point again?
That's a good question. Let me go ahead and check the statistics.
I think it's episode 11, I believe.
It was actually not... It was actually not episode 11, no.
Episode 10? It's already been 3 episodes? I'm surprised.
Yeah, it was episode 10, round number 29. The beach turn made a triumphant return, and Mississippi managed to flip the runner on the rock. So, all right, that was that episode. That was a good round.
So
remember that one?
Yes, I do remember that. I was there.
That's the one where frickin' Transit just went hello and hit the runner's hood. Funny.
Oh yeah, right.
This particular episode, that episode is not out yet, and I really want to watch that again.
Yes, it will be released when it is time to be released.
When it is time. We get there when we get there. In our second place position in the lineup, but first place in the tournament, we have Police Interceptor, ladies and gentlemen, a very fearsome competitor who has managed to gain himself a lot of points in this particular tournament, who is holding steady with 10 points. However, I'm not even going to say that he's feeling threatened, because honestly, he doesn't really have a lot of reason to be threatened, especially not this episode. There is pretty much no way that any car can manage to somehow get themselves more than 1 point in a single round. So for now, it looks like his lead will not be challenged in this particular episode, and that will definitely allow him to potentially try some new strategies, because he's got some breathing room to spare. What do you think about that, my friend Devion?
Yeah, like, I think new strategy is what these guys need, because Detroit's got that one strategy that always works, and these guys are just, like, hitting the runner but not getting the points here.
I fully agree. Mississippi and Police Interceptor are suffering from redundancy. They continue to hold those first and second place positions for virtually the entire round, but it almost never equates to points for them. And as soon as the runner spins out on his third lap, that tends to be where Detroit comes in to strike, because Detroit knows that is how it's going, and Detroit seizes his third place position in preparation to do that. In our third place position, who I'm going to scream if he gets eliminated, but I'm going to be unbiased about my ability, we have Fairhaven City, who is responsible for some of the most spectacular rounds in this episode, but unfortunately for him, he hasn't managed to perform well in a lot of episodes, and he has really struggled these past couple of rounds. So yeah, I'm thinking they are potentially one of the cars on the chopping block, and I'm really freaking hoping they don't personally, but I'm going to be unbiased. I'm going to be unbiased, but at the same time, I really hope they don't lose. Well, regardless, it looks like, unfortunately, Fairhaven City will be one of the cars on the chopping block for this particular round. I'm really hoping they get themselves a point so they can keep themselves protected from elimination, because after all, even though they aren't even though they're in the middle in terms of the point standings, they are responsible for such spectacular rounds as round number 14, I believe it was. Yes, 14, as well as round number 18. Those were some incredible rounds that Fairhaven won in some of the most spectacular ways possible.
Yes, but at the same time, he has not scored a point since episode 9, which is 4 episodes ago. So he needs to like start stepping up his game, especially in this round. We will be planning to reset him if he messes up, but just once, and he will not be reset to the beginning. He will actually be reset on the spot.
In our fourth place position, the newcomer to this particular episode, we have a USA Army Police who has really not managed to make a whole lot of good happen for himself in the first couple of rounds, but he is a newcomer, he is learning the ropes, and I'm not really sure what else there is to say about him. What do you think about this, my friend Evian?
I mean, it's his first episode. We'll give him a chance. If he doesn't score anything in the next episode, like 0 points again, then I don't know. He might actually have to get eliminated. Who knows? Because he's in which was school safety spot, and school safety scored like 2 points within 2 episodes. So it's not a spot disadvantage. He just needs to do the right thing.
That is true. It is not a spot disadvantage, most definitely, because in the past, we've had school safety occupy the fourth place position, and they were able to garner themselves 2 points in the short amount of time they were in this tournament. Following them was old NYPD, who performed so spectacularly bad that they were actually became an exception to the rule and were thrown out of the tournament because they went up the mountain. And I hate that cars go up the mountain, by the way. So yeah, U.S. Army Police isn't doing as good as school safety, but they also aren't doing as bad as old NYPD. With 2 extremes, it definitely proves that it's not a disadvantage of being in 4th place.
So yeah, it looks like cars with a bull bar in 4th place seem to do worse than cars without a bull bar. It's just something that I have noticed.
I fully agree. Yeah, I fully agree. Yes, we've seen it a lot in this tournament. It looks like the bull bars don't actually tend to help these cars. They do look very pretty, and they can sometimes help with hitting the runner, sometimes kind of, but ultimately, just ignore that. It's my end. All right, just ignore that. That was a call on my end. So anyway, yeah, the bull bars aren't really always the best.
Yeah, we got like Belasco City who scored like 0 points and he had a bull bar. Park Ranger did pretty good, but he was eliminated eventually. And here we have USA Army Police not doing that good.
Yeah, that is true. If my memory serves me correctly, Belasco City did actually have a push bar as well, and they were definitely not a very good competitor in this tournament, I would say. Yeah, so definitely proves that. In fact, Police Intercept is in the lead, and he doesn't have one. So yeah, it proves that the bull bar is not really something that can always equate to wins. In our 5th place position, we have Transit Police, who is having a really sad episode today, I gotta say. I don't really know what's going on with him. He is a former champion of a previous tournament. He does have 6 points for himself. At the same time, he just hasn't really had the best time today. I'm not really sure why. Maybe his heart's not in it at the moment. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I feel like he should be scoring some more points now that Detroit overtook him, and Detroit was added way after Transit Police was.
That is true. I agree. Transit Police has been here since pretty much the beginning of the tournament, and he has held with 6 points for a while now. Detroit, who was added roughly in the middle of the tournament as of this time, has now overtaken him and broken that tie. So that means Detroit is now in 7th and is in 3rd place in the point standings. Transit Police definitely has to either step up. Transit Police definitely has to either step up his game or wait out the bad luck that he's somehow managed to garner. In our 6th place position, we have New York City JTF, that stands for Joint Task Force, who has 2 points to his name. Some very nice points as well to his name. Managed to rise to fame as a result of the Round 10 Invitational, in which he won 2 rounds of that. And as a result of that, he was brought into the tournament and has managed to seize 2 points for himself in the main tournament now. So he's proving that he can definitely manage to break out from the pack and potentially defeat some fierce competitors such as Detroit, Mississippi, and Police Interceptors. Yeah. In our our 7th place position, the champion of the last round, and also the champion of being in 3rd place, we have Detroit Police, who, with 7 points, has finally managed to break that tie with Transit Police. That actually is now putting him at a potential spot to threaten Mississippi. That would definitely be an interesting series of events if he actually manages to seize 2nd place from Mississippi and potentially be one of Police Interceptor's main rivals. I thought you were gonna say. Did you have anything to add? I thought you were gonna add that.
No. So.
Oh, all right. And in our final position, we have DEP Police, who is a respectable competitor, but who hasn't really managed to do a whole too lot. Kind of flying under the radar, just waiting for his times to strike, I suppose. However, due to the fact that he is in last place and still has 1 point, I would say he is still better than Velasco ever was. In any event, that is it. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for round number 39. Activate your sirens, turn on your lights, start your engines, because round number 39, the final round of this episode, is about to begin. And the competitors are off, ladies and gentlemen. Mississippi with 8 points in the front. Police Interceptor, our leader, in the second. Fairhaven City on the chopping block a little bit in third, with U.S. Army Police in fourth, going to try and make something happen. Transit Police in fifth as well. JTF in sixth. DEP just going for a day at the beach. Well, meanwhile, Detroit, he's been brought back with Detroit as well in the 7th, running on our lineup.
So yeah, Fairhaven really needs to do something here if he wants to stay in the tournament. Yeah, but only time would tell, so let's see what he does.
Only time will tell. Yes, see what he does. He has himself a nice drift, goes a bit wide on that turn, but that's pretty better than he has done before in some cases, I would say. Yes, sometimes he spins out and blocks up everyone. So that is better for him in this particular game, yes. Fairhaven City, this is definitely his time to make it or break it, ladies and gentlemen. He has some spectacular wins on his belt, but unfortunately, 5 points in roughly 5 episodes is not really enough to keep yourself in the tournament, I would say. However, he actually has managed to keep that 3rd place position for himself for once, and as long as he doesn't screw up on the mountain, for the love of frick, please don't screw up on the mountain again. If he manages to not screw up on that mountain and drive up the mountain, then he will be potentially poised to take a page out of Detroit's playbook. He manages to do it, ladies and gentlemen. He is holding that 3rd place position on the cliff turn. He doesn't manage to drive up the mountain for once, thank goodness, with USA Police trailing just behind it. Transit, JTF and Detroit are a bit busted right here. Looks like DP will be swerving around them to try and claim themselves a position.
You know, I'm surprised at the cliff turn. No one spun out, so all the cars are still relatively close together.
That is true. All the cars are still relatively close together now as a result. Transit with a little bit of damage. Unfortunate for him. This steering is busted. Goes into the forest as a result of it. Unfortunate for him, but yeah, looks like Fairhaven will now be holding that 3rd place.
Yeah, we got like 4 cars like relatively close to each other.
That is true. We do have 4 cars relatively close to each other, and it looks like Fairhaven City, all Fairhaven City now needs to do in order to seize that point for himself is just wait out the beach turn. Is he still in 3rd? I'm not...
Yeah, we still got
4
cars all close to each other.
Yeah, I didn't know if he busted anything or something. We've got looks like a very interesting round here with 4 cards holding pretty much next to each other. So all Fairhaven needs to do in order to make something happen is just wait out Mississippi and Police Interceptor. If he holds it for 3 rounds, he'll be able to take page out of Detroit's playbook. And he just manages to hold on that beach turn. U.S. Army Police goes off the beach turn, and Fairhaven City manages to just hold it right on the outside of the turn. Fairhaven City taking a page out of Detroit's playbook because this could be his last run, and he is trying to apply everything he's learned in order to stay in this tournament as DEP flies off the beach turn as well. And there's JTF in addition to that.
So yeah, it looks like we thinned the crowd a bit. Army Police spun out, so we got 3 cars still close to runner.
Indeed, yes. Mississippi and Police Interceptor are doing their standard strategy with Fairhaven just behind them. It looks like our top 3 has almost made themselves a bit of a return. Fairhaven with a nice drift, moves up into the rock a little bit. We'll be losing some distance, but that is okay because Detroit proves that 3rd place is the optimal place to gain positions from Mississippi and Police Interceptor. JTF and DEP are still a bit busted at the beach turn at the moment. It looks like Transit and Detroit as well are trying to move ahead and make something happen and gain some of the ground that they lost, I believe. JTF is now back on the track as well. Runner is now moving up towards the cliff turn for his 2nd time around with Fairhaven not close behind Mississippi and Police Interceptor. JTF looks like it could be a little bit of a roadblock that could throw a monkey wrench into some of these cars' plans. What do you think about how this round is evolving, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, Debian, not ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because Fairhaven needs the points, but oh, he spun out.
Fairhaven needs the points, yes, but he spins a little bit on this cliff turn. Unfortunate for him. Minor damage sustained to his car, but it looks like he will still be keeping that distance. But is that Detroit in fourth of all people? Detroit really wants to hold. Yes, Detroit is in fourth. Detroit really wants to overtake Fairhaven for those points. It looks like it's potentially a battle here.
Yeah, we got two battles going on in this track. Ooh, Transit, like,
Army
Police really gets it.
Like at the bottom of the incline, I would say.
It looks like his car's dead at the moment.
Oh, it looks like USA Army Police's car is a little bit dead. Fairhaven holding that third place position as well. Has a lot of distance to make up and has Detroit breathing down his tail. There are a lot of challenges that he will need to make up, but he has at least not managed to freaking drive up the mountain like he does. DP driving into the grass a little bit, managed to recover from it, and the runner will now be entering the town for his second time around.
So, Fairhaven's in the prime position to get a point here. Let's see if he's able to get it, if these guys mess up.
Position, but the runner has not managed to reach his second lap. Looks like JTF will be actually a little bit stuck here as a roadblock. Mississippi Police Interceptor struggling to get around, and Mississippi manages to do it. Looks like Police Interceptor will actually be stuck because of JTF just a little bit, so JTF will be moved off the track. Meanwhile, how's Fairhaven doing? Here comes Fairhaven. Hope they manage to get that. Oh, it looks like they hit the beach turn just a little bit. Unfortunate for them. And Detroit will be taking that third place position again.
Looks like his car still runs though, so he's still able to get a point if he could get some good luck here.
Looks like Fairhaven's car still barely runs, so he could potentially get a point if Detroit decides to spin out. He drives right into a rock because his steering is busted. That's not. This is a very critical time for Fairhaven, and I don't know. Potentially, Fairhaven's best plan is to abandon moving ahead and move back towards the head-on collision. A lot of the cars moving forward, including Transit Police, have been a little bit busted, and if he actually manages to turn around and stop the runner from spinning out on the third lap like he does, he will be poised to get a point. Otherwise, the DP hits the beach turn as well a little bit, so if only Fairhaven goes back, I think he will manage to get a head-on collision potentially.
Yeah, but looks like no one really hit the runner yet. Ooh, Interceptor spins out. I didn't expect that.
Interceptor actually spinning out on what appears to be, this is not they're actually on a cliff. Could they potentially be driving off the cliff? Oh, and Mississippi is now making contact with the runner as a result. This actually could open up a head-on. Here's Detroit. Will Detroit get themselves a second head-on, or will they miss? This could be their time to shine. Detroit actually spins the runner a little bit off, potentially into the water, but is the runner still going? Yes, the runner is still going, and as long as Fairhaven hasn't screwed anything up, he could potentially be in it for the head-on collision. This is his last chance. Oh, Fairhaven's a bit spun out. I don't even know if this is right at the beginning. It's over, by the way, is what I meant to say. As long as Fairhaven is still going, but there's DEP as well, still very damaged, and it looks like Fairhaven, if he manages to get back on track, and if DEP misses, as well as if Mississippi misses, get it, Mississippi, then Fairhaven could potentially keep themselves safe in this game with their 6th point. Mississippi, though, is making some contact with the runner. I don't know what's going to happen in this game. Runner could potentially be pushed into the shipping center. Yep, it looks like the runner will potentially be going off the cliff, potentially as a result of Mississippi when the shipping container goes off. That is what an end to the round, ladies and gentlemen, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, it's always a great end to the round when the shipping container falls down.
It is always a great end to the round if the shipping container falls down. Yes, I would say that is indeed the case, ladies and gentlemen. The runner has been thrown off the cliff by Mississippi, and the shipping container has done the same as well. They're off the cliff and into the water.
Looks like DEP's still making his way here.
And here is DEP as well, just barely managing to reach the scene of the accident. Could potentially go off the cliff himself. Nope, doesn't look like it would be the case.
Looks like he's driving back home, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he's just driving back to the forest, so he's one with his people. Oh, DEP actually turning around, so never mind on that front.
Okay, we'll help him arrive here. Let's see, is anyone else showing up? Looks like no one else is showing up. Yeah, looks like Mississippi gets the point here. Finally gets another point after all this time.
Yeah, it's Mississippi. Finally, after all this time, will manage to secure his 9th point, which means he is poised to potentially catch up to Police Interceptor.
Let's check on the other cars right now. We have DEP, of course, here.
DP, of course, is here. Yes, looks like he took a souvenir from U.S. Army Police with him as well. DP is here at the scene of the accident. Looks like I don't even know what he's doing, just having himself a fun time. I don't know.
Let's check on the other cars. I believe that's USA Army Police. Yes, it is.
Yes, U.S. Army Police is a little bit busted here at the bottom of the incline. I'm not even completely sure what is the issue with them. Just over here, we have Detroit Police who went in for the head-on as they usually do, and it was a very good head-on, but unfortunately it was not enough to actually stop the runner.
Yeah, I believe if he pushed the runner into the water, he would have gotten the point, but the runner missed and was eventually taken out by Mississippi.
Indeed, yes. If he fully pushed the runner, he would. Police Interceptor is actually at the bottom of the cliff. How about it? Police Interceptor managing to choke on a cliff that no one has ever choked on before and managed to fall down into the water, just as his colleague Mississippi has as well. Fairhaven City looks like his car just couldn't keep going on. He was trying to move ahead for the head-on, and he did the best he could. Light bars actually facing through the roof. Yeah, looks like his car was just unfortunately not able to keep it up, I would say. Went across the beach turn once just fine, and the second one, unfortunately, he screwed up on. And I think at that point, his car just wasn't able to recover from the damage, because, yeah, he's just, this is where we left him. It looks like his car just quit. Transit Police a bit busted. Not even sure what happened here on the long straight. So, yeah, looks like Transit Police is now here on the long straight with some really hefty front end damage. Really just wasn't their episode today, I would say. And JTF is a bit busted on the beach turn as well. Yeah, and that beach turn again, as usual, with cars not really able to get around it.
So, looks like Mississippi are getting the points. You know, I noticed that cars are pretty spread out in round 39. Like, we got Interceptor here, DP's there. We got Detroit over here, USA Army over there, Fairhaven, like, just scattered across the whole track are just all the cars.
That is true. I fully agree. The cars are very scattered this time. Sometimes the majority of them are actually at the scene of the accident, but this time they're all over the place.
So yeah, now comes the time of the episode where we find someone to eliminate.
Yes, indeed, this comes time for the episode where we find someone to eliminate.
Well, DEP showed up, I believe, in all 3 rounds here, and he has worked hard. He has a point, and yeah, he's in the back of the pack, so he's kind of at a disadvantage, but still does like show up.
True, DEP is at the back of the pack, has a bit of a disadvantage. Is one of the only cars, actually. I think he is the only car actually to stay up in this particular round. Even though he has heavy damage, he has managed to stay up, and he does have 1 point. So yeah, it's pretty good for him.
Let's see. USA Army Police just got here, and he has shown up 2 out of 3 times, I believe. I'm not sure.
USA Army Police just got here, and he's learning the ropes. Didn't perform as badly as old NYPD, so he will, of course, not be eliminated.
Detroit got a point, I believe, yeah.
Detroit did get a point this round, yep.
So he would not be eliminated. Transit Police, well, he's got points. He's got 6 points.
Transit Police has 6 points, but he hasn't really managed to make the cards work for him very recently, I would say.
JTF scored a point. So
JTF won around this episode as well. Yes, JTF with some nice wins under his own belt.
Interceptor is
Interceptor's in the lead, so
yes,
you know.
So I guess at least one more car here that has barely showed up in this episode. He needs a point, and he hasn't scored one. And yeah, he hasn't scored a point since episode 9.
That is true. Fairhaven City with 5 points hasn't really managed to score a point in a while, and did have himself some very nice performances in this round, but I don't know. It doesn't look like it was enough.
Yeah, so it looks like Fairhaven City will be eliminated, as per an agreement we made last episode.
Yes, unfortunately, it looks like Fairhaven City has unfortunately not managed to make it happen. He needed that point. He needed to tie up with Transit Police, and unfortunately wasn't able to do it.
So yeah, that marks the end of Fairhaven City. He entered at episode 2, replacing Seacrest County. So at the moment, we don't have any Need for Speed police cars, but maybe that'll change in the next episode.
Potentially, yes. So unfortunately, after 12 episodes and some very amazing wins, it looks like Fairhaven City's chapter in this particular tournament will be closed. So it looks like that will be the end of episode number 13. My name is UsernameHere, joined by my co-commentator, Depion, and it is time for us to sign off here in this game.